What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video we're going to be seeing if I can win in the Ultra League Fantasy Cup running a team of 1500 CP Pokemon. I've attempted many of these types of challenges in the past, in the Open Ultra League, the Master League Premier Classic Cup, and even in the Open Master League, but I thought I'd give it a try in a themed cup for the Ultra League. Now with a challenge like this, you can't just use typical counters to beat a team that has a combined 3000 CP advantage over you. No, you have to fully hardwall your opponent throughout every stage of the battle. One of the teams I've been seeing quite a lot recently included Alolan Sandslash in the lead, either form of Giratina as the save swap and Tapu Fini as the closer. The best chance I'd have at beating that team is with Lucario in the lead, Wigglytuff to wall that Giratina, and Alolan Exeggutor for the Tapu Fini. The hardest part about this challenge is that whilst all three of my Pokemon beat theirs in a straight head-to-head, if the opponent gets just a slight energy advantage, whether that's from swapping out or farming down my previous Pokemon, that may allow them to flip certain matchups. With that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. What GBL challenge would you like to see me attempt in a future video? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so this was the very first battle I did with this team, and the reason this intro is lasting a little bit longer than usual is because the battle had already started, but I hadn't got into it yet. My Lucario has nearly fainted already. This is really bad, but I do at least have the alignment I want with my Wigglytuff up against a Giratina origin form. They go for Shadow Ball, that does an okay amount of damage. A second Shadow Ball will almost take me out from this range, and they're already at the charge move. I have to just let this go through. It is the Shadow Ball, it nearly takes me out, but I do make it to a disarming voice, and the opponent actually lets it go through, giving me switch advantage, and I can align my Alolan Exeggutor to the Tapu Fini. They tried to catch a move onto Registeel. Unfortunately, Lucario is just too low here. I only make it to one close combat, but the opponent lets it go through on their Registeel, and now there might be a way for me to get back into this game. I'm going to use a shield. It is the Flash Cannon, of course, and I'm going to overfarm here, go to the back-to-back Seed Bombs, go for the Seed Bomb here, and the opponent respects the damage. Now I go for another Seed Bomb. They probably will let this move go through, as a Seed Bomb will not be enough to take them out, but I'm hoping I can Bullet Seed farm them down from this range. The opponent goes for Flash Cannon number 2, but they can already swap back into Tapu Fini, and unfortunately they're at a charge move already. If this is the Moonblast, which it is, unfortunately we will lose that game, but I think genuinely if we did start at the same time as the opponent there, we might have been able to win that. But into the next game here, we see Giratina Origin in the lead. Unfortunately not the alignment we wanted there, so not a lot we can do. So into the next game we see Tapu Fini in the lead this time around, and you're going to see a lot of variations of this team, but unless we have it in the exact order we need, we're just not going to be winning those games. But into the next game we see Alolan Sandslash in the lead. This time they save swap into Tapu Fini. This is a bit worse for us just because we do have to respect the damage from a potential Moonblast here. They bait with a Surf, which is unfortunate. I'm going to farm to 100 energy, go for the Seed Bomb, and the opponent does use a shield that will allow me to make it to the Solar Beam before they get to the Moonblast, and Solar Beam will be taking out the Tapu Fini, but unfortunately I leave this Alolan Sandslash with an absolutely massive farm down, and we don't make it to Solar Beam number 2 either. We have to settle for the Seed Bomb, which doesn't do much damage at all, and they've got basically enough energy for back-to-back drill runs. I had to call a bait. It was the drill run, and unfortunately we just cannot win this game anymore. We're gonna let the Ice Punch go through, and then I will just concede the match there. So GG's to that opponent there. Unfortunately Tapu Fini save swap doesn't really help me out. I need it to be in the back. But into the next game we see another Shadow Alolan Sandslash in the lead. This time they save swap into Giratina, which is the alignment we want and the order we want it as well. It is a Giratina altered form, doesn't really make a difference here. Gonna let every charge move go through, and I will allow them to get me incredibly low before I do finally take out the Giratina. So they go for back-to-back Dragon Claws here. They make it to a third Dragon Claw, and I want them to get to a final charge move before I do commit to the full Charm farm down, and they do just barely get there. So I can let this go through. I will actually let them get a few more Shadow Claws off before I go for the Charm farm down, leaving me with very minimal health here. We get to back-to-back Disarming Voices. Gonna throw them straight away. First one doesn't do much damage, but the second one will get this Alolan Sandslash into nearly the yellow health range before they farm me down, and they have the Tapu Fini in the back, so we've got the perfect alignment that we wanted. I'm actually going to full send a Solar Beam. This might be a mistake, but I don't expect them to shield the first move, but they do. And now I might have just thrown this game away there. That was a really stupid mistake, but then I call the Surf bait, so now we are back in this game. I'm going to shield up the next Surf here. and I will be able to go for a Seed Bomb here after overfarming just a little bit. Seed Bomb will probably grab the final shield from the opponent, which it does, and now here I'm expecting a catch. They go for the catch, we barely hold onto our energy here, come in with our Lucario, they go for the drill run, that grabs my final shield, and I'm hoping that they're not at the move already. I think I would lose CMP, but I actually checked, and it's IV dependent, despite the fact that Lucario is a great league Pokemon. We make it to the Seed Bomb, but it's not enough damage to take them out, and we do unfortunately lose that game. So GG's to that opponent. I thought it was over at that point. I thought that was the closest I was going to get, but into the next battle, and not the lead we were expecting to see, but still a fairly good lead, and the opponent tries to catch a move there, and we're able to swap into our Wigglytuff, get the exact alignment we want once again. This time they go for Shadow Sneak. That's definitely not the right play. Unfortunately for this opponent, both Shadow Sneak and Dragon Claw are double resisted, but they both do the same amount of damage, despite Dragon Claw being 10 less energy, so you definitely do want to go for Dragon Claw in this matchup, which they have now figured out, as they're going to be spamming these Dragon Claws, and once again we will let them get us very low before finally taking them out here. And I'm thinking, because Bullet Seed isn't double resisted, they will only have to get off maybe 2 or 3 Bullet Seeds to take me out. We go for Disarming Voice. It would have been better if we had Ice Beam, but I didn't really want to double move this Wigglytuff just for this challenge when I was expecting to see basically just one team over and over again. I'm going to go for the extra counter here, and then I will go for a power-up punch, hoping to grab a shield from the opponent here. So we go for the power-up punch, and power-up punch actually goes unshielded, but then we win the CMP tie up against a Ultra League Ferrothorn, but it still doesn't quite take them out there, and unfortunately I don't think I can afford to shield this up. But the opponent just concedes the match, and we get the win with this team. But you know me, I wasn't satisfied with that. So into the next game, and unfortunately once again we start off late. I don't know what was going on, but it seemed like every other game we were starting like 3 seconds, 4 seconds behind. Luckily this time around it was only maybe 1 second behind, so we are once again going to swap into our Wigglytuff here. We can let this move go through. They go for Shadow Sneak for whatever reason, I don't know why. But we can let the next move go through, and once again they go for Shadow Sneak, so I don't have a clue what this opponent is doing. But here, this is going to allow us to actually let them farm me down even more, because they are slightly behind on energy. And at this point, we are so low where I think we're only going to live maybe 1 or 2 Shadow Claws here. So we go for that Disarming Voice. And Disarming Voice doesn't do much damage, but I think this Shadow Claw will take us out, meaning this Alolan Sandslash has a very small energy advantage, and there is the Tapu Fini. We've learned our lesson this time around. There's no point going for Solar Beam, and this time the opponent goes straight for Surf. That's absolutely fine with me. I can safely no-shield the first one, go straight for the Seed Bombs here, and this will be grabbing a shield from the opponent. We make it to Seed Bomb number 2. I don't even care if they let us go through. This should put them into range where I can farm them down with either Pokemon here. We make it to a 3rd Seed Bomb, losing the CMP tie. But they go for a Surf once again, and this is fine with me. We can go for the Seed Bomb. This will connect. It won't be enough to take them out. They swap back into the Sandslash, and here all I have to do is shield once, go for the counter farm down, and I will come out with a Close Combat loaded to throw into Tapu Fini. And even though it's resisted, and even though we're only a Great League Pokemon, Close Combat takes out the Tapu Fini, and we take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.